Okay, take a deep breath. Sit down. Are you ready? Because the moment that has been simmering, bubbling, and threatening to explode for months is finally here. This isn't a drill. This isn't a dream sequence. Next week, in the heart of the Dales, Emmerdale's one true pairing, the epic, chaotic, and utterly undeniable love story that is Robert Sugden and Aaron Dingle, is officially back on. And yes, it ends exactly where we all knew it would, in bed together. For every fan who has screamed at their television, who has felt the gut-wrenching injustice of their separation, who has held a candle for Robron through thick and thin, this is our validation. Ever since Robert stormed back into the village, a ghost from Aaron's past wearing a familiar, handsome face, the clock started ticking. At first, stolen, steamy kiss wasn't just a moment of weakness. It was a promise. It was the universe reminding us and them that some bonds are forged in a fire too strong to ever be extinguished. They are, and have always been, soulmates. Of course, there's the small, inconvenient, and utterly infuriating matter of Aaron's husband, John. But let's be real, has anyone ever truly bought into that relationship? John, Robert's twisted and manipulative half-brother, has been a placeholder, a roadblock on the path to destiny. The love between Robert and Aaron has been a silent third person in that marriage from the very beginning. And now, it's about to get very, very loud. It all begins where so many of their most poignant moments do, with Robert at his absolute breaking point. In his darkest hour, when the world has turned its back on him, there's only one person who has ever been able to piece him back together. Ryan Hawley, the brilliant actor who brings Robert's tortured soul to life, sets the devastating scene for us. Robert breaks down in Aaron's arms and later says it's time for him to go and move on, he explains. But this isn't the end. This is the catalyst. Aaron convinces him to stay and admits he's been fighting his own feelings the whole time. Chills. Absolute chills. The architect of this pain is, unsurprisingly, the villainous John. In a move of staggering cruelty, he weaponizes the one thing guaranteed to shatter Robert's fragile psyche. His nephew, little Harry Sugden. John masterfully uses the child to trigger Robert's deep-seated PTSD, orchestrating a situation designed to make Robert look unstable and dangerous. He twists the knife with surgical precision, poisoning Victoria's mind against her own brother, painting him as a violent monster who can't be trusted. As if that weren't enough, he then slithers into Robert's space to gloat, to rub salt into the gaping wound he so carefully created. Robert loses it completely and has a breakdown, Ryan reveals. John really rubs it in that he's repeating the actions of his past. He uses Harry to gaslight Robert and make out he's dangerous, then Victoria says he's not changing and he's out on his own. Our hearts collectively shatter. This is Robert's worst nightmare realized. Being seen as the man he used to be, losing the trust of the family he fought so hard to win back. Alone and believing he's lost everything, he unleashes his pain on the only thing he can control, his surroundings. So Robert smashes everything in his room until Aaron comes in and stops him. Imagine the scene. From outside, Aaron hears the terrifying sounds of destruction. His heart lurches and instinct takes over. He finds Robert not angry, but broken, inconsolable, surrounded by the wreckage of his room, a mirror of the wreckage in his soul. In that moment, Aaron doesn't see a monster, he sees the man he loves, drowning in pain. Without a second thought, he does what he's always done. He takes Robert into his arms, holding him, anchoring him, trying to shield him from the storm. Downstairs, the adrenaline fades, leaving a shaken Robert with a hollow sense of defeat. He looks at Aaron, his voice thick with resignation, and admits it's over. He's lost everything. It's time for him to leave the village, to disappear and start a new life where his name isn't a curse. But the thought of Robert leaving, truly leaving for good, is a physical blow to Aaron. It's a future he cannot contemplate. The carefully constructed walls he built around his heart crumble to dust. The fear of losing Robert forever finally outweighs every other rational thought. He begs him to stay, and then the floodgates open. The truth he's been suffocating for months comes pouring out. He admits he's been pushing Robert away, fighting a war with his own heart, a war he was always destined to lose. The air crackles with a decade of unspoken words, of shared history, of pain and passion. He confesses his love, his need, his turmoil. And then it happens. They lean in, and they finally give in. They kiss. It's not just a kiss, it's a surrender. It's a homecoming. It's an admission that no matter the circumstances, no matter the chaos, they belong to each other. Robert and Aaron don't want to think about their complicated circumstances, Ryan reveals. They take their moment together for what it is, and it kickstarts the next phase of the story. As they lie in bed, wrapped in a moment of stolen peace, the real world intrudes. Victoria and John are just outside, a heartbeat away from discovering their monumental betrayal. The close call jolts Aaron back to reality, and the guilt comes crashing down. He tries to convince himself and Robert that it was a mistake, a one-off moment of madness. But Robert knows better. He insists this is where they are meant to be. They are inevitable. Aaron, spiraling and overwhelmed, confesses everything to Mac, his betrayal laying heavy on his conscience. He comes to a desperate conclusion. The only way to escape the magnetic pull of Robert Sugden is to run. He decides he has to leave the village, and this time for good. For the conniving John, who has been feeling the walls of his own lies closing in, Aaron's plan is a gift from heaven. He eagerly agrees, seeing it as the perfect escape. But as they plan their new life, built on a foundation of secrets and deceit, is it truly a solution, or just a delay of the inevitable explosion? And what of Robert? After being given the most profound hope, how will he react to having it ripped away again just days later? Robert will be devastated to hear Aaron is leaving, Ryan teases, his words sending a shiver down our spines. Robert came back to the village for Aaron. He's his reason to exist. Then comes the final, chilling promise of the darkness to come, and he'll be very worried for Aaron's safety. He doesn't want to, but I think he could kill John to keep Aaron safe. Let that sink in. The reunion we've been waiting for is not the end of the drama. It is the lighting of a fuse on a bomb bigger than anything we've seen before. Robert Sugden, pushed to the edge and with his entire reason for living on the line, is capable of anything. The battle for Aaron's heart, and his very soul, has just begun. Get ready, because the storm is just beginning.